On an installation where you haven't been able to gauge the depth of the tile, you'll usually end up with a cut between the ridge and the first tile fitted. A really simple way of keeping a uniform look to your roof is to overlap the tile onto the tile below. Keeping the stagger in the tile sits and overlaps and is fixed and then capped with an accessory. This tile can then be fixed through the pan, to the side of the pan, into the batten, and then with touch-up kit can be made good afterwards. This is a lot simpler than cutting and bending the back of the tile, and it's a very good way of having a very good uniform look to your roof. Here we have a bearing on the tile of 220. The maximum you should overlap on is 1500. This is because this can affect the look of your roof once it's installed. I shall show you how to install an overlapped, and I shall also show you how to install a cut tile on the other side. Like this. I've got this. The two fixing points of this tile are through the back of the tile into the ridge batten, and also through the pan of the tile away from the drainage area into the batten below. This should then be treated with touch-up kit. So when you have to cut a tile into the ridge, it's important you take your measurement from the right place. So we take it from the reverse of the nose of the tile on the roof, and when we bend our tile on the floor, this is where we take our measurement from. It's also important to keep the line of the roof to install a batten, so that as the bend goes up into the ridge, it sits nice and straight for the accessory to sit down on top of. So here's the point I'm taking my measurement from, and I'll take it from two places, the width of a tile. So that's to this point here, and then I'm going to have a bend upwards. So that's 13.5, and that's 13.5. I'm going to measure 13.5, and on the other side 13.5. It's important, if you've taken your measurement from here on the roof, make this measurement on the tile. If you've taken your measurement from here, make the measurement on the tile the same. So I'm taking my measurement from this point in the tile, and I shall mark the tile on the floor from this point. So I'm going to take this measurement and allow 40 millimeters upturn into the ridge. 23.5. 24. We have our two marks now on the tile, here and here, either side. This is our bend line. You want to get a straight piece of timber, and now we can see the straight line our tile needs to be bent upwards. So we put some weight on the batten across our lines, and the object is to bend the tile upwards. Need some heavier guys. Keep going. That's it. Good, yeah? And let go. So when you're bending tiles by hand at the top, it's important to fix the tile through the nose first at either side, and then along the nose in 4 places. We do this because if we were to cut the excess off the tile now and try and fit it, the tile would curve and be very difficult to install. Now we've nailed through the 2 overlapping points on the tile, we now put tiles in through the nose to push it tight onto the installation. We do this because of any bow in the cut tile. Now the cut tile has been fitted into place, we can now trim it off at the level of the ridge batten. So I've trimmed and bent over the cut ridge section, and I've bent over the full tile section, ready to receive an accessory. At the intersection at the top of our roof, where the 2 ridges meet and the roof projects into the valley, we're going to cut these accessories so that they overlap and won't let any water through. So for the intersection where our 2 accessories meet, I've cut and bent the accessories so that every part of the joint is overlapped somewhere. So I bend out and bend in and bend down to create our mitre point. And once this is installed, it can then have touch-up kit applied to it, and it's waterproof. Now that the accessory has been fitted, we put touch-up kit all the way along the open edge. So I've cut along all the angles, and with my bender I'm bending out the edges to create the underlap to be overlapped by the box barge cover. Now I trim out the section of the box barge cover so we have a clean line. I've trimmed in the open edges to fold in and create a feature on the end of the box barge cover. Using my bending tool, I gently pull one end in like so. Second cut is the central point of the ridge on the side. The same cut this side at the central point. So we fitted the ridge accessory, which in this case is a D-ridge, and this runs into a box barge cover. We've turned up the end of the D-ridge accessory and overlapped it with the box barge cover, which has then in turn been finished at the bottom with a series of folds. All ridge accessories can be fitted through the side with a single nail. The overlap on a ridge accessory must be at least 150 millimeters, and you must watch out because some accessories are thicker at the bottom than they are at the top. The next step on our roof is to go around, and any scuffs we have a compound called touch-up kit that we put on to hide any scuffs and any dents that you've put in whilst installing your roof.